All right. We have one last talk. We are actually going to move all the way from Sweden to Japan, to a remote or like a small town called Fujimi, where we are going to discover Morino-Office. I'm also really excited about that. Before I invite Yoshio to join us, he asked if we could show a little video so you guys get a feeling for what's Morino. So we are going to show it. I don't know. Yeah, okay, perfect. I was wondering if I should.
You took my hand and pulled me out of reach from my hopes and dreams. You played your part, you fooled me. Didn't want to face reality. And all the tangles of our past are smoke and ashes now. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me. Times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free, to be free. You wanted only your way. Otherwise, you said you couldn't stay. So unsure of who you are, you turned something good into playing games. And all the tangles of our past are smoke and ashes now. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me. Times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free. I'm free 'cause I wanna be, and I've forgiven you, no need to speak. Grievous words stir up anger. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to be when you're me. Times like these. Forgive and remember, it's the only way to see what is real. To be free, to be free. To be free.
That's a great introduction to life in Fujimi and at Morino-Office. Hi, Yoshio, how are you? Are you with me?
Yeah.
I should
Hi.
also
Thanks
say
for
that
having me. Can
Hey,
you hear me?
nice to see you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Um,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
yeah, I watched this video and I realized how much I miss Fujimi. Such a nice
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. It's the weather is getting great right now. The video was, I think it was summertime, so it's
Okay.
much greener than right now. But yeah, it's pretty much nature.
Yeah, and it's a great introduction and to the topic that we are going to discuss.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking you if you could introduce yourself. So, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, I run a company called Root Design. My name is Yoshio Tsuda. I'm a founder of Root Design and also co-founder. I guess I'm a co-founder of Morino-Office, which is co-run by the local government of Fujimi town. And my main work is creative direction and also like project design, UX design, and so forth. But I also run the co-working space as well.
And let me ask you, as the co-founder, sorry about that, of Morino-Office, what pushed you initially to want to go into opening a co-working space in Fujimi? Because
In
you're not
Fuji-
from there, right?
No, I'm from Yokohama, which is the second largest city in Japan near the Bayside, near Tokyo. But I moved from there to this little town called Fujimi. Um, so the town, well, the town's purpose was to have more population in town and more have like create more project because like you saw in the video, the town's main industry is pretty much like farming, agriculture, culture, and also a nature tour. But and also like pretty much any other area in Japan and rest of the world, the population is decreasing yearly, and the town wanted to have more population coming in from the city side. And my purpose, was to create a community for newcomers in town and make their living easier, and also make like more new work possible. Collaborate with others and meet with locals in town. And if you have these kind of things started to happen, it becomes culture. So the town's purpose and our purpose was have and have it mixed together and becomes co-working spaces.
And you talk a lot about Fujimi. So I want to talk about the town itself because you just say you're not from there initially. So
Yeah.
you, as Yoshio, how did
Mhm.
you come across it in the first place?
To
And
the town, you mean?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm from Yokohama, and it's really big. I grew up there, um, and I was working in Tokyo. I was working in Sony as an employee, but my biggest motivation to open and do a co-working space was very personal. Um, when I was working at Sony, I began to feel like really uneasy about my work, how it's gonna change after like 10 years. I was in the like I was 30 years old that that by then, and when I when I started working a few years after Sony, I read the book called The Shift by Linda Grattan, which was it was about um, the work life um, in 2025. And when I finished reading that, I made up my mind to not work as an employee, but as a owner of my own work, like and work project based. And also thought that if I'm gonna work that way, maybe I can just move out of the big city and go to somewhere like really natural place with my family, and maybe I can just go back and forth to the city and the rural area. So I started to find a place where I can just go back to Yokohama or Tokyo within like 3 hours, and I found this really great place called Yatsugatake Mountain, which I have experienced mountaineering a few years back. And there was a town called Fujimi uh, next to that mountain, which I didn't know. I'd never been there before, but I just Google mapped and maybe I can just go there. And I just drove with my family there and saw the place. It was really beautiful. The mountains, the forest, that everything was really beautiful and seemed livable compared to other rural areas. Um, I used to live in Washington State, United States, and when I was a child, and it felt kind of a same scenery. I looked at the mountains, and it was more like the scenery of Washington State, not than like rest of the rural area in Japan. So I the first step was to um, have ourselves move there, but I wanted to have some kind of information, and I was looking up I was looking up on the Fujimi town's website, and I found out that the town of Fujimi is planning to start a project to move people in from the city by supporting the remote working. This was back in 2014. So the city's plan was really fast-minded, very future-minded. But from the website, the project seemed to not be moving. So I just quickly emailed the government and said I can help this project to start moving. And they gave me back a response after a week. But after 10 months, I was living in Fujimi and
Wow.
I was doing project with them. So it was really quick. That was my
And
first motivation.
you just said earlier, when you went to Fujimi the first time, it seemed livable compared to other areas that you have seen in Japan. What made it seem livable to you?
Um, so this is really um, you have to know the atmosphere of Japanese conservative local area. So I'm not sure if I can really tell you that I can express that like in English, but um, most part of the Japan's local area is very like um, um, well, it's pretty much conservative, um, most of the places, but it's also the scene itself is like surrounded by high mountains, and the villages are like in the bottom of the mountain, so you can't really see the rest of the world. That's if you go to a really rural area, you all you see is mountains. Well, if you go to the seaside, you can see the ocean. But if you want to go to the mountain area, it's pretty much surrounded by mountains, and it seems very small. But when I went to Fujimi and this part of Yatsugatake area, it was so the scene was so wide, and you can see um, really far, and I think that like affects the mind of the people,
Mm.
and the local people there. For me, it seemed very open, and I see some people who were moving from Tokyo and other big city to Yatsugatake already, to the Fujimi area already. So I I kind of got this feeling that maybe this place is more open than the other part of the other areas comparison. But I just kind of I had this feeling of it by seeing this scenery and meeting some people there and talk with them.
And on the first day, you opened Morino-Office, if you still remember it, because it was a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Um, did you have the feeling that locals were understanding what you were building?
Uh, Not at all. uh, Completely not. Well, there wasn't even a word called co-working space that much. I mean, it wasn't widely known in Japan. and it wasn't really widely known in the part of Tokyo. So nobody understood the word co-working in Fujimi, I think. And so since they didn't understand, but the government is using their tax to open this open this art facility. So 1 year before the opening of um, Morino-Office, there was a small protest within the town to stop this project.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't still there yet, so I didn't really know about it. But there was a little protest, and and also after like the first day, we had an opening ceremony with the town government, and they just brought some really I don't know um, some people in. But after that, just there's only like one or two guys using the place for like a week.
Okay.
So yeah, it was the start was zero. We
So
had nothing.
then, as a follow up question, because as you said earlier, you started it in 2015,
Hmm.
um, before remote work even became a thing. So, how did you manage to get more people and companies interested in what you were building?
Yeah, it was really hard, a hard start. Um, we're not in the big cities. We're not well, but nobody understood the word co-working and back then. But starting early is always a chance, also, because my my way of work and my way of changing my career life it, had some media attention in the first place. Because my first 3 years of running co-working space, I was still partly working at Sony as an employee, and also I built my own little company called Root Design. So I was a working employee. I was running my business and also going back and forth to Fujimi and Tokyo and running a co-working space, new co-working space in the rural area, which was very unique. So so I had a lot of media attentions, and some media started to interview me. Also, the Morino-Office, and why did you make this place? And those articles, internet, magazines, newspapers, they started to come out, and um, you know, and got some interest from the early adapters, which is seeking some new life, new careers, and they started to come by all the way from Tokyo. So that was so starting early is really a chance to bring in some really unique, interesting early adapters.
And then I guess COVID changed a lot of things for you, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, COVID has really changed. Well, the Morino-Office starting from zero. There was like 100 um, 2 years later. But when COVID happened, people really were stuck in the big cities, but they wanted to get out because the remote work has really spread widely, even in Japan. And then people started realize, why are we still living in this big crowded cities? And then that was so we were running for 4.5 years after COVID happened. So we were pretty much popular now in the rural area. We were like the one of the leaders, early innovators of co-working space in the outside of Tokyo. So when people started searching for where to move out, move in, I mean, we had a lot of attentions from people who wants to move to a rural area and still not being left out, still being like just kindly join the communities there, and we were open. So we had a lot of movers from the Tokyo side to the Fujimi, and as they started moving, our community started to grow as well. And now we have over 1,200 community members in the Morino-Office. Well, the frequent users are more smaller, but yeah.
And how do you see Morino-Office today in the context of Fujimi? In the sense, how has the space impacted the town?
It's very interesting. We have, well, there, like I said, the town only had like agricultural industries, tourism industries, and also some factories there. And most of the people work there. But now, so after starting Morino-Office, more and more people come in. Freelancers came in first to the town. So now there's a lot of designers, photographers, videographers, creative directors are living, freelance people are living in the town. And first they were just doing their job, their work, remote. Clients client work, but when they started to slowly interact with the local people, they started to do some local works, some of our volunteer work, some of our paid work, but they started to like work on the ad for local shop card for the like that. And also it was really exciting. One of the things that really excited me the most is to see a lot of newcomers joining the local historical festivals, which are really conservative. And 30 years before, no one except the locals can join those kind of festivals. But last year there was a really big festival, and a lot of newcomers in towns are they joined the festival as a management operation side, including myself. And that was like that was the part when I really saw the newcomers and the locals mixed together and collaborating and communicating with each other. And those kind of things become, I guess, a new community or a new culture.
And now you are working on a new project. I would love for you to tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, that's the most stressful part right now for me.
Okay.
Starting a new thing is really, really gut-bending experience, I guess. Yeah, so like I said, I was originally from the town of Yokohama, and it's one of the biggest city in Japan, but still there is a very local area in every part of Yokohama. And I was always thinking about like building communities. Is this only possible in the rural area where people are really close together and have a lot of close and deep interactions? And I get a lot of questions and also like comments from the people in the city side, where they feel that in the city, um, like communities are scarce, and also the interaction with others are scarce also. But not every people can like live in the rural area. They still have to live there
Mm-hmm.
and make a living, and also make friends and communities there. And I thought, so the 7 years of Morino-Office, we made communities. We made like it was like a family for me, a big family. And always had this question to myself: if I made this happen in Fujimi, can I make it happen in my in Yokohama also? And and then last year I had a chance. The local railway company wanted to build a new area in part of Yokohama, and they wanted to renovate the whole area of town, and they want to make like a some kind of like a shopping area also, and they want to have a co-working space there also. And they asked me to whether I can make the second co-working space there. And first, I just said no. It's not possible. It's too risky to work to have a co-working space in Yokohama. It's I have no like I have no money for that. But after that, for a week, I thought about it, and I finally made up my mind. I changed my mind to just do do a challenge for myself, and and but not making just a normal co-working space. I don't think that's possible, because like there's already a co-working space in Yokohama also. So I focused on what can make this place more like interaction,
Mm-hmm.
more elements for like making better communities. And I focused on creative side. People who work on the creative industry, and also like art industry, and artists themselves have more output to the local communities when looking at Morino-Office. People with design skills, designers and artists, and photographers, they seem to interact more with the local people and have more output to the local communities. So in Yokohama, I'm going to focus on the like a creative designers and also artists, and build a co-working space for them, especially for them. So the place will be a mix of like uh, PC related work, and also like handwork, analog
Mm-hmm.
painting, and building models, and like doing like DIY workshops. It's a mix of digital and analog work, and it's gonna open in end of April. So it's
Ooh, very soon. 1 month to
very
go.
soon, very soon. Yeah.
And I know that you're doing a crowdfunding campaign about it as well at the moment.
Yes, yes. It's all in Japanese, but it's I'm doing a crowdfunding. Is it possible to share the link here?
Yeah, I think Dimitar just put
Okay.
it up on the screen.
Oh,
He put the campaign. Ah, you mean you want to show the page or what?
oh no no no. Oh yeah, the URL is fine.
Yeah.
It's all in Japanese, but I'll put the tips to show how to fund from abroad. Yes, I really be grateful if you all participate in this crowdfunding. It's I think we have come to 90%. So
Wow,
we
nice.
need a little more
Okay,
from the
you're
help from
almost there.
abroad. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
almost there. Yeah.
And
So
maybe
please check
one
the
last,
URL.
yeah, we'll put it in the recap of the event as well.
Thank
And
you.
I think I can link the document you gave me, which is in English, to help people who, like me, do not speak Japanese yet, to know how to donate. But one last question, and then I'll invite Dimitar in. Are you going to connect the spaces, the two spaces, in any way? So Fujimi and Yokohama?
Definitely. My goal is to connect that place because the place where I was born, and also the place I'm living right now and love living there. And Yokohama is a city of seaside. So
Oh, nice.
connecting the seaside and the mountainside is really interesting, and also connecting the local food and local items, interacting with them, it will be really nice. So yeah, I would definitely find a way to connect these two places together.
Nice. Let me invite Dimitar in
Sure.
so he can also say hello. And I think there was also a comment.
Hey, Dimitar.
We don't hear you somehow, Dimitar. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
Okay.
finally
Hey.
here. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Yoshio.
Hey.
Thanks for
How's it
sharing your
going?
story again. And
Ah.
I always have a smile, like the whole day today, like all the spaces, like put smile on me.
Uh-huh.
And Morino-Office is doing the same. And I love the story and like how you push to create better life for you and for the people around you and for everyone that wants to change their life or
Thank you.
do it through a co-working community.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, always very inspiring. Thank you so much for doing it and sharing it. And we have a really cool comment. Someone says that that finds Yoshio's interview so inspiring. So it's Remy from Javier, Spain, but he's
Oh, wow.
French. So
Thank you.
yeah.
My
And
pleasure.
they say that it's very important for mountain areas to like find like those models that they can attract people there, and co-working space is really a vehicle for that. So yeah, thank you for sharing your story. And
oh, my pleasure.
maybe my little story in your story is like when we came to Japan the second time, we met you at an event that you had with the town of Fujimi, that you were showcasing local craft people and people that make products in Fujimi in Tokyo. So for me, that was really inspiring. And I give it as an example many times when we talk to people about places that are open in remote area, how can they expand their impact and like the news about what they do. And I think this is very interesting, how you can gather around, rally up the people in a town, and then you can showcase it in the bigger cities that are
Exactly.
hard for more people to come and see, but they can see it through the eyes of the local people that are impacted by this initiative, not just someone talking about it. So
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the turning point for Morino-Office as well, because we took like 3 or 4 years to have relationship with the local people, the local stores, and probably some of the people there never went to Tokyo before. It was the first time to go to Tokyo Station to promote themselves, but we just brought like 30 people, 15 shops, I guess, to the Tokyo Station and present all the crafts. And that was when the local people noticed, oh, so these things can happen with Morino-Office, but with the help of Morino-Office. So they didn't understand what a co-working space was, but they understood what they can do for us.
Mm.
And
was,
what the space can
turn.
do for them, and like
Yeah.
be the vehicle for promotion. Because I should say that the people that you brought to Tokyo, it was very broad what they were selling. I remember there was someone doing soaps, people were doing food stuff, or like raw vegetables. There was someone doing lamps or something.
Yes.
Like a lot of different products, and it was really cool because they were all also very proud to display what they were doing to more people.
Exactly, yeah. And it was exciting for us to have this, like, it's a little craft, but it's really unique and it's lovable, and it was really fun to show it to the just people in Tokyo, just passing by, but they stop and they come back, and what's going on, and they just I think there was like 6,000 people in just one day.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Well, with the
it was
help of
packed.
Tokyo Station. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
From my
Well,
side,
Yoshio, sorry, go for it,
I
Jinji.
just want to say from my side, it's really exciting, and I feel that the new space would also be very successful. I feel that
Thank you. I
you're
hope.
creating again a space for niche community that they can start coming together and learning and moving between maybe the two spaces and come around. And this would be really interesting to push forward. And I think you should just go for it and leave the stress for like some other place.
Yeah. Yeah, my stress was relieved by your comment. But, yeah, but please come by to Yatsugatake and Yokohama as well. Maybe this year. I can just show you the two places.
Be
We really
fun.
want
Maybe we
to.
can finally do our event. Like,
Oh yeah.
COVID really
We should do that. We have to do
shortened
that.
our plans, but yeah, we have to regroup and start pushing again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Yoshio, I know it's late for you, so thank you so much first for making the time. Also, I know you had a big day going around, so thanks for making it with the internet connection and everything. Really inspiring always to chat with you. I just want to invite people who do not know the project yet to follow you either check the website, follow you on Instagram as well, where you guys are pretty active. And yeah, stay connected with Yoshio and the project that he's running. We'll share the link of, how do you pronounce it? Pile? How do you say it?
Pile.
Pile. Okay, so we'll also share the news about Pile, so you guys can discover the upcoming project. As Yoshio said, there is a crowdfunding campaign going on. I think you can contribute for as little as you want, but it does make a difference in those kinds of projects. So if you guys can consider supporting, we'll do it for sure. And yeah, thanks again a million for your time, Yoshio. It was really nice to have you today.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure. Thanks. I was really thankful for talking with you too. Yeah, thank you.
See you very soon then.
See you. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye, Yoshio.
Bye. Good luck.
Thank you.